Today, in modern and civilized society, women not only have the opportunity to develop mentally, but also physically, far beyond previous generations. This gives them confidence, aspiration, and determination to constantly progress, not wanting to be left behind in any aspect of life. However, no matter how life changes, women still cannot deny their motherhood and the role of the fire that warms the family. These are noble and meaningful responsibilities, but at the same time, they also put a lot of pressure on women. Therefore, having to balance work, family, and social expectations has become a big challenge for women today. These pressures come from many sides. From work that requires professionalism and efficiency, from family that expects perfection and care, and from society with its sometimes unreasonable standards and expectations. So, how can women properly perceive these pressures and find ways to relieve them? In today's video, we will explore 7 reasons why Stoicism is for women too. This is a philosophy that is not only suitable for men but also brings valuable lessons for women, helping them face and overcome the pressures of daily life more strongly and confident. Society always places certain expectations on women, from having to meet beauty standards to fulfilling roles in family and work. Women often face a lot of pressure. These demands come not only from the outside but also from their own internal thoughts, which makes them feel like they have to always achieve perfection in every aspect of life. But are all these pressures within our control? Not always. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers women a fresh and powerful perspective on dealing with these pressures. Instead of trying to control everything, it teaches us to focus on the things we can actually control: our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. Take the case of Sophie, a young woman who is starting her career. Sophie lives in a society where most of her peers have chosen the path of settling down with an administrative job or starting a family. Questions like, "When are you going to get married?" or "Why don't you have a stable job?" pop up frequently in her daily life. These questions are not only pressure from society, but also a constant reminder of the standards that others set for her. In situations like these, Sophie decided to apply the principles of Stoicism to her life. The teachings of Epictetus, famous Stoic philosopher, helped her realize that she had complete control over how she perceived and responded to societal expectations. Instead of feeling pressured and disoriented, Sophie held on to her faith in the goals she had set for herself. She realized that other people's expectations were not something she needed to meet, and that the most important thing was to take control of her life. This doesn't mean that Sophie completely rejected societal standards. Instead, she focused on distinguishing between what she could control and what was out of her control. This helped her reduce stress, stay confident, and stay steadfast in her personal goals. Most importantly, Sophie's journey wasn't about challenge for the sake of challenge, but about staying true to her values and goals. She realized that instead of worrying about what other people thought, she could spend her energy focusing on her passion and work. The advice from Stoicism helped Sophie find the confidence and inner strength to face the pressures from society. Instead of feeling disappointed or resentful, she learned to face expectations calmly and in control. Sophie not only focuses on achieving personal goals, but also knows how to manage emotions and maintain inner peace. Stoicism has proven that, in a world full of pressure and expectations, women can completely master their lives by focusing on what is truly important. These principles not only help Sophie overcome challenges in life, but also inspire many other women, helping them to be more confident in their journey. Overall, Stoicism is not only a philosophy of life, but also a powerful tool to help women overcome social pressures and live true to what they believe. Through Sophie's story, we can see that confidence, perseverance, and the ability to manage emotions are important factors that help women maintain their self-belief and achieve success in life. I find that one of the most difficult things for women is having to deal with a range of emotions when trying to balance family and work. You may feel that, between the demands of work and family responsibilities, things sometimes become overwhelming. Sometimes we are faced with situations that require attention from both sides, and this can easily leave us feeling tired and exhausted. However, When I began to learn and apply the principles of Stoicism, I realized that this philosophy could bring me the balance I had been looking for. Personally, I think the most important thing that Stoicism brings to women in terms of emotional balance is the ability to pause and think before reacting. In the past, when faced with a stressful situation, I often felt the need to react immediately, but this only added to the pressure. After learning from the teachings of Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca, I learned that taking the time to stop, think, and process emotions before reacting can actually bring about incredibly positive changes. You may feel that sometimes we get too attached to our emotions, and this can be exhausting. But when I apply the Stoic principles to my daily life, I realize that we don't always need to get too involved in everything, especially when it comes to emotions. Keeping a healthy distance, so as not to get caught up in negative emotions, has actually helped me to conserve energy and balance work and family better. I find that maintaining emotional energy is very important. Sometimes we get so caught up in the whirlwind of work that we forget that we need time to rest and recharge. Stoicism has helped me realize that it is important to set personal boundaries and know when to stop. This not only helps me maintain my energy, but also allows me time to take care of myself, be present, and enjoy moments with my family. As I learned to stay calm and not react impulsively to every situation, I noticed that the relationships around me also improved. Not only did I maintain stability in my emotions, but I also discovered a new approach that helped me balance work and family more effectively. Not letting myself get caught up in negative emotions has helped me focus more on what is important, and this has brought me greater satisfaction in my daily life. Personally, I think this change is not just about managing our emotions, but about building a sustainable lifestyle where both work and family can coexist without harming our mental health. Stoicism really helped me find the balance I have always craved, and I believe that if you also try to apply these principles to your life, you will realize that balance is not so far away. We can sustain ourselves against the pressures and demands of life, and at the same time, still be able to enjoy the joy of the little things, from peaceful moments with family and success at work. Personal boundaries are a concept that I personally think we all need to understand, especially women in modern society. We often hear that women have to please everyone around them, from family, friends, to colleagues. But in reality, you may have also felt that always saying yes to every request sometimes makes you exhausted and leaves you no time to take care of yourself. This is when setting personal boundaries becomes extremely important. I find that Stoicism is a really valuable philosophy in encouraging women to set and protect these boundaries. Because this philosophy reminds us that we have the right to say no when necessary without feeling guilty. It is our right. The right to protect our mental health and maintain balance in our lives. Think about times when you've been faced with demands, felt overwhelming, but you still tried to meet them out of fear of disappointing others. Personally, I think it's important to remember that you have the right to say no. No one can do everything perfectly, and setting clear boundaries helps us know where our limits are. A friend of mine started to face demands that were too much for her to handle, so she decided to try a different approach. Instead of trying to please everyone, she learned to say no gently but firmly. At first, she felt guilty, worried that she would be misunderstood or even judged. But you may find that over time, saying no tactfully helped her protect her mental health. She no longer feels like she has to take on everything, and instead, she can focus on what really matters to her. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When you set boundaries and stick to them, you're truly honoring and protecting your health. Personally, I think this not only helps you maintain balance in your life, but also makes you truly ready to take on bigger challenges. When you have enough time and energy, things become clearer, and you can make better decisions for yourself. Stoicism not only encourages us to set boundaries, but also reminds us that it's our right and responsibility to protect those boundaries. You don't have to feel guilty for saying no. In fact, saying no when necessary not only helps you stay healthy, but also gives you the energy to devote to the things you are truly passionate about. I hope that you feel empowered in setting your boundaries and realize that you have the right to do so. Holding your boundaries does not make you weak, but on the contrary, it makes you stronger and more confident in your life. And don't forget, you are not alone in this journey. We are all trying to figure out the best way to protect and care for ourselves. In many fields, women still face gender stereotypes. These stereotypes can make them feel limited and unappreciated for their true abilities. This not only hinders their personal growth, but also affects their careers. Personally, I think that in situations like these, women need a tool to help them overcome these barriers and live up to their values. And that's where Stoicism comes in handy. I find that Stoicism, with its principles, can help women see and overcome gender bias with clarity and confidence. It's not about ignoring or fighting bias, but about understanding it for what it is and choosing to respond in a conscious and controlled way. To do this, women need to learn to focus on what they can control, rather than getting caught up in what they can't change. Let me consider the story of Emma, a young woman who struggled in a leadership role simply because she was a woman. Not only was Emma's leadership abilities questioned, but she was also constantly subjected to discriminatory comments. However, instead of letting these prejudices hurt her or make her feel helpless, Emma chose to apply the principles of Stoicism to her life. You might feel that in situations like that, it is easy to lose confidence and belief in yourself. But Emma chose a different path. She realized that her own abilities and values cannot be determined by the opinions of others. She started to focus on what she could do well, on the goals she had set for herself. And instead of reacting negatively to prejudices, Emma kept a cool head, worked hard, and persistently. Personally, I think that this helped Emma not only prove her abilities, but also gradually gain respect from her colleagues and those around her. She did not need to show that she was better than anyone else, but just did the best she could. Emma learned to be confident in her abilities, not letting gender prejudices determine her own value. What I want to share here is that Stoicism not only helped Emma overcome challenges, but also helped her grow sustainably. By focusing on what she could control and refusing to be influenced by what was beyond her control, Emma turned barriers into motivation to rise above. Not only did she do her job well, but she also became an inspiration to many other women in the company who were facing similar prejudices. If you ever feel judged because of your gender, remember that you have complete control over how you react and approach problems. Stoicism can be a powerful tool to help you do just that. Focus on what you can control, your abilities, your values, and how you respond to challenges. You will find that with determination and mindfulness, you will not only overcome prejudices, but also emerge stronger and more confident than ever. I want to share with you something that I believe is very important. Stoicism helps women affirm themselves. This is especially true for those of us who are often put in situations where we have to please others and always try to meet all the expectations from society. You may feel that you need to follow the standards and rules imposed from outside, but I personally think that the most important thing is to listen to yourself and focus on your inner values. One of the valuable things I learned from Stoicism is the ability to seek validation from within, rather than relying on the judgment of others. I find that when you start to believe in yourself and set your own standards for your life, you will realize that true peace and confidence come from within. This helps you feel more secure in your decisions, even when they do not follow the expectations or pressures of society. Consider the case of Emily, a young woman who was trying to find her own way in this challenging world. Emily used to be caught up in pleasing everyone around her, but after adopting the principles of Stoicism, she learned to value herself and her achievements based on her own standards, rather than what society expected. You may feel that this is easier said than done, and I understand that. But trust me, when you start setting your own standards and living by your own values, you will see a huge change in how you feel about yourself and your life. This not only helped Emily build stronger self-esteem, but also gave her a sense of peace and confidence every day. Personally, I think that when you learn to accept yourself and focus on what you can control, you will feel less affected by criticism, or expectations from others. You will begin to realize that your true power lies in your ability to assert yourself and the confidence that comes from living your values. The next topic I want to talk about is Stoicism helps women embrace adversity. You know, life isn't always smooth sailing. We women often face many challenges. But I've come to realize that Stoicism teaches us to see adversity in a different way, as a natural part of life, and not just as hardships to overcome, but as opportunities for us to learn and grow. Emily has experienced many hardships in her life, from failures at work to unsuccessful relationships. However, by applying Stoicism, she has learned to accept and turn these obstacles into opportunities for growth. Personally, I believe that when we face adversity positively and do not avoid it, we become stronger, and those difficult experiences become valuable lessons that help us progress. I have found that instead of viewing adversity as unfair or a burden, you can choose to see it as a challenge that you can overcome, and even turn it into motivation for you to grow. When you accept that every experience, even the difficult ones, contributes to your maturity and strength, you will find life much more meaningful. Finally, I want you to remember, we are stronger together, and we can learn and support each other to overcome challenges in life. Personally, I believe that with the support of Stoicism, each of us can assert ourselves and accept all adversities to become stronger. Believe in yourself and live true to your values. You will see this life becomes much more wonderful. Stoicism encourages women to be true to themselves. In every woman's life journey, facing expectations from society and those around us is inevitable. However, the most important thing is that we do not let these pressures make us stray from our personal values and principles. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, is the key to helping women be true to themselves, regardless of what others expect. I find that being true to yourself is not easy, especially when you are faced with many opinions and pressures from others. You may feel like you have to change to fit in with social norms, but I personally think that staying true to your own values is the core element to having a happy and fulfilling life. Take the example of Emma, a young woman full of passion and determination. Emma always tries to live true to what she believes in, even though this sometimes causes her to face judgment from society. You may feel that living on your own terms is very difficult, especially when you see yourself as different from others. But the important thing is, Emma realizes that true happiness does not come from meeting other people's expectations, from being true to yourself. I personally think we all have values and principles that we believe in, and that are worth defending. Stoicism encourages us to look deep within ourselves, to gain a better understanding of what is truly important in life. Emma has applied this philosophy by always holding on to the principles that she believes are right, regardless of the opinions of society. She understands that fulfillment in life does not come from being accepted by others, but from being satisfied with yourself. I believe that when you live true to what you believe in, you will feel an incomparable freedom. You may feel that being true to yourself can sometimes lead to difficulties and challenges, but I find that this is the path to a truly fulfilling and happy life. Remember, Stoicism is not just for men, it is a philosophy for everyone, including women. I find that the power of Stoicism lies not only in how it helps us face life's challenges, but also in how it helps us live true to our values. You may feel that sometimes it is difficult to be true to yourself in a society with so many expectations, but I want you to know, we are stronger together and share these valuable lessons together. If you find what I share useful, please join us by clicking the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I personally believe that when we share and learn together, we can create a strong community where everyone can find support and inspiration to grow. Remember, we are Stoic. We are never alone on this journey. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next videos. Stay strong, Stoic.